I'm just making sure people are moving to rooms.
They're starting to transition now.
Yeah. Hi, Tammy. Hey, Jackie.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yay. We get like a little coffee conversation here. Dr. Moreno.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Lisa. Long time no see. So if you guys want to come on camera, turn your video on, that'd be great. This is like a coffee conversation.
Sorry, I was
Hi,
muted.
Shirley. And I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Is it Ainsley?
Ainsley.
Ainsley,
Really
hi. Nice to meet you. Hi, Tammy. Hi, it's Yesenia and Marina, Daisy. Awesome. Well, welcome to Safety and Relationships. Really happy to have you guys here. Before we go around, I just want to get an idea of where you guys are located and kind of maybe one question or one point you'd like me to cover, and I can do my best to make sure I address that because I'm here to help support you and guide you as well. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I am a sibling, but I'm the one that has a disability. Obviously, unfortunately, my sister and I are not close.
Okay.
I have my own family now, so I went to college. I drive. I did everything the doctor said I cannot do. So, but what I'm interested in is trying to understand where my sibling is coming from. I'm wondering if she felt a little resentment because when I was little, I needed a lot of therapy and to reach
Okay.
that milestone of independence. So I just wanted to get your input on relationships with how siblings feel. Like if you felt like you were pushed to the back burner and a lot of the focus was on your sibling. So
Yeah, Tammy, that's a really good question. So I'm writing that down. And we can definitely address that. So I'm going to get the questions from everybody. And Tammy, you live in San Diego, is that correct? You're near me in San Marcos?
I'm sorry, I forgot to see where I live. I live in Washington.
You live in Washington? Okay.
Yes.
Great. Who'd like to go next?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Hi, Julie. I said hi before, but I realized I was on mute. So anyway, so I live in New York, as you know, but nobody else probably does. My sibling is in Ventura County, California, where I was born and raised. And my question, so I'm not exactly sure in talking about safety and relationships. My question is more about self-safety. And I don't know if that's something you were planning on speaking about, but my brother's engaging in some self-harm, and has been having some meltdowns, which worry me about the risk in the relationships that me and my parents and my family have with him. If there's something that, the safety that for us as well. And how that all looks. So I'm not sure if when, the safety and relationships aspect, I'm not sure if that's something that you were planning on speaking about, but that's sort of like my question and my interest and how, I guess to find out some more information about that.
Yeah, I can definitely offer you some information. Thanks, Lisa.
Okay,
Anybody
thank you.
would like to go next? Anybody else?
I can go next. My name is Shirley Valladares. I live in Oregon.
and I'm kind of just open to outcome, kind of what people share and kind of what I hear. I just thought the theme kind of resonated with me, and I'm going to choose it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for being a part of Oregon Sibs. I love it. Does anybody else have a question or a point they'd like to cover? Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the location. I like the topic, so I did join. I'm from the California, from LA area, so nearby San Diego. I like the topic. I work with a lot of families. I do have a nephew who's on the autism spectrum, so it also resonates. And I also facilitate a sib shop, so happy to be here.
Yay. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Would anybody else like to go? I just want to make sure I fully understand like the dynamic of our group and what each individual wants to get out of it before I kind of dive into the topic that I'm very familiar with while addressing other points. So, okay. So with that, let me quickly address points. Oh, does somebody want to go?
I was just gonna say my name's Ainsley and my brother and I live in Washington. I guess I was hoping to learn more about any success that anyone's had with supporting someone who wants to start dating. My brother has an intellectual disability and he lives in a rural area in Washington, so that's kind of made it hard. We've started the app Dateability, but there's just not that many people on the app, and it's kind of a new app as well. So yeah, just any insight on that.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely offer some information. So let me go through and address the points that were raised. So Tammy, you bring up some great points. You're a sibling, you have a sib, and you want to understand just kind of the dynamics growing up. California Sibs does have an intro to Sibs workshop, and we have recorded videos. So what I can do is we can send those videos out to you, Liza, maybe, Tammy, and you can watch those videos, and that'll give you an introduction kind of into Sibs and who we are and kind of what our life looks like when we have a sibling with support needs. And then I think we'd be happy to connect with you again after you watch those videos. So I hope that works out for you. Lisa, in regards to self-harm, I will share with you that Nikki Donnelly of Oregon Sibs, I recently spoke with her and she was in a special training for behaviors. And so I think Nikki would be the appropriate person to assist you with that and offer more insight into behaviors and protection and kind of like, not self-defense, but we'll say self-defense because that's a common term. And so Liza, maybe we can connect Nikki with Lisa and we can see what other resources there are for you. I think Liza, within the school system, there might be requirements when you're working with different special education classes. And Jackie, perhaps you know as well, Dr. Moreno now. Jackie, would you like to just introduce yourself briefly? Because you were a part of California Sibs and you have a huge milestone and you might be able to offer some information here too to Lisa.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I know Julie very well. We worked together to help bring California Sibs up from just a little seed many years ago. So it's so great to be here. I did kind of go into like a membership role while I worked on my PhD, successfully defended just a couple weeks ago. So, but yes, I am also a behavior analyst. So I work with families and support autistic and neurodiverse learners and families. And so there are a lot of like, I don't know if trainings necessarily, but there are some like resources for kind of more behavior centered or like behavior concerned kind of approaches. Also, like I don't know if counseling would be effective, or I'm not sure the nature of the dynamic, but there are also practitioners who work with the individual and the family together, or just kind of support the family member to support their sibling. But if I don't know, Julie, if there's like a email address or something for them to email for further information. And if that gets pushed along to me, I'd be happy to offer additional resources.
Yeah, we can add that in our recap. So Lisa, we'll get you resources. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then, Ainsley, you mentioned your brother wanting to date and using an app called Dateability. So let me just kind of segue into a topic I know and into subject matter that I know for you guys, and maybe there's more information in there. But I have a sister, Natalie, again, she has very high support needs. And my sister, I mean, my sister doesn't date. So, I do have access to information and other facilitators and educators on that topic of dating, for people who do date and who are able to kind of choose their social life, I would say. And so I have a resource sheet that's going to be going out with all the recordings of these videos, and I'll make sure that's in there and you guys have access. I do want to tell you, on the resource sheet, there is a contact's name. I know all the people that are contacts. So if you want an introduction, a warm introduction, I'm more than happy to assist and support you in that way. But let me kind of dive into a topic I know, and share with you guys. So, I didn't just start California Sibs because I'm a Sib and I was looking for, a community of siblings to hang out with. But, I wish I did, and I wish it was that simple. But August 2nd, 2012, about 12 years ago, we found out that my sister, Natalie, again, who has very high support needs, we found out that she was a victim, and us too. Me Too victim, survivor now, I'll say. And so that really rocked my world. And when that happened, I quickly realized one day I'll be taking care of her. And this was the year I got married. My brother got married. I was about 32. And this is the year our youngest sister graduated from college. So it was very busy for my mom. And my parents are divorced. And so when that happened, I was thirsty, and I was so thirsty to reach out to other siblings, because I went, oh man, one day I'll be supporting my sister, and how do I lead my best life and also make sure that my sister leads her best life and I make sure she's safe. And so what I quickly realized through my personal experience is all the barriers in the system, but not just like the disability support system, which I'm sure many of us can speak to, but also the barriers within the criminal justice system and within law enforcement. And when something happens to you, we watch a Hollywood movie and it's about 90 minutes and there's always a happy ending. And I remember when I got very, very upset knowing that my sister was a survivor, and that the system was not there to support her. So just some background, she went to a day program by bus during the day. She only lived with my mom and younger sister in the home. And she would come home, and we think she was being hurt when they were changing her diaper at the day program, which was really, really devastating. And she ended up getting an infection that she could have only gotten from, from some form of consent she should have given. And obviously my sister cannot give consent. I'm also her co-conservator. So this really angered me. And then my mom kept Natalie home for 4 years straight, and it was really devastating. So my personal mission is to help support Sibs on a path to justice and healing, and to really understand that the Me Too movement amongst people with disabilities, it's a very big deal, because over 90% will become a survivor throughout their lifetime. But that doesn't just impact the individual, it also impacts the circle of support. High circle of support. And so I was really nervous and scared that when Natalie's my responsibility, and if I want Natalie to go and live her best life, how can I do that while supporting my brother, my husband, not my brother, but supporting my husband and my children, and make sure that, we can keep a roof over our head while still supporting her and making sure she's safe. So that's my personal mission. And so with that, I've done a lot of work around safety and relationships, and I'm learning more and more every day. So I'm an expert through lived experience, and I have a very, a certain lens. But there's other people with experiences that I've learned about as well. So does anybody have any questions? And I should have done a trigger alert. I usually do that. I'm sorry. But I'm using really general language right now because I know that this kind of can be triggering. But any questions from the group right now? No? Okay. So let me just share a little bit more about the advocacy I've been working on, and then I can address any other questions people have. So with over the past 12 to 13 years, I've built what's called now the Natalie Project, this side, the Natalie Project. So it's named after my sister. And basically it's my commitment to her that I will find justice and healing for her, but I'll also elevate others in the process because I don't want people to experience what we went through. And here's where my anger and my drive come in. We kept Natalie home for 4 years straight. My younger sister gave up her life to help take care of Natalie and my mom. The system ultimately told us to be quiet. So they did what's called, it's no longer a secret, but at that time it was a secret settlement. So the day program paid my mom a sum of money and they asked my mom to keep quiet about it. And the money was gone within about 2 to 3 years. And I had to write the checks every month to my mom from the settlement. And that money, the settlement money, was actually taxpayer dollars, which was very frightening. So taxpayers are covering up claims of abuse. And that really angers me because as taxpayers, we deserve transparency and we deserve real solutions. So an example is I did work with the California Democratic Party on a resolution. I do want to get legislation done, but I'm waiting for a couple of things to happen, which I'll share. But what we're really waiting for is the resolution was something similar to the cigarette industry. So what we were hoping to do is if there is a claim and a claim of abuse is paid out and there is an agreement that those funds are matched into a prevention fund. So perhaps you fund something like Dateability and maybe it's on a grander scale and you help people with disabilities perhaps have sex education, have healthy relationship education. And again, let me just step back and go macro view. We have people with disabilities who have the highest rates of abuse, yet there's no education and training really around it. I did meet with a local agency here in San Diego, and their internal HR was a barrier for people with disabilities in the program to get healthy relationship education. So that was really, really frightening to me. And so there's a lot of work to be done around healthy relationships and especially around abuse. I just got a note here. We have about 5 minutes left and I am dying to give you guys a preview. You'll be one of the few to have seen this. But I did produce a film about my sister, Natalie, which I'd like to share with you. It's about 2 minutes long. And if my fingers are fast enough, I can share it with you. My dream is actually to help produce films I'm bringing it up, films around all of our concerns around healthy relationships. So let me make this bigger. And I did not optimize sound like I should have. So let me do over. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to share sound, optimize video, right, Liza? I'm going to share here. Let's see. Did I do that right? Can you guys see the screen, the blank screen right now? Yeah, cool. And it wants to go.
Natalie was always like a ray of sunshine to me. I constantly said, I want to take her smile home with me. It just lights up the room.
She sits in her corner, she's very chill, and then if she sees something that she wants, she's going to make all the effort to go get it.
Yeah, she should have been a secret agent because she's very stealth.
She is really kind and good-hearted. Even now, 20 years on since knowing her, she's still curious about everything, and I love that.
Natalie had these weird marks on her thighs. And to me, they kind of looked like fingernail marks.
We went through a year that was full of a lot of illnesses with her, and the doctors couldn't put their finger on what was wrong with her. The doctor did a test that I don't think any of the other doctors had ever done, was an STD test. We found out the results of the STD test, which was positive for gonorrhea, and I was shocked.
For a program that's supposed to be helping Natalie, this happens there. It makes you wonder what kind of person can even think about doing that.
The system needs to be fixed. Society needs to reframe how they see people with disabilities. Our goal is to champion healing and systemic change for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families on a path to justice and healing.
She's helping others who are victims and others who just need that support or need that help.
She's happy, and our whole goal in life is to make sure that Natalie's taken care of and happy and safe. Despite the trauma that she has, there's just so much to be celebrated because she's a survivor and she's overcome so much.
Okay, so that's a piece of the work that the Natalie Project is working on. I'm hoping the film will be done soon. We're in the final stages of it, just to let you guys know. But the film is a tool to bring awareness, right? And that's the goal. And it brings awareness not only to Sibs and the role that we play, and the film will touch upon that, but also awareness about abuse and kind of what's going on within that world. I do want to share with you guys a couple of things. Number two, the Natalie Project is working with Arizona State University on a disability and abuse survey for all types of different abuse. And we want to capture data. There really isn't data on this. And then we're going to take that data, make it actionable, and hopefully get some legislation passed. And as we're wrapping up here, quickly want to share with you guys, the Natalie Project is also creating a toolkit for families, specifically on like the Me Too movement and abuse. If you guys have concerns around other types of abuse or other healthy relationship situations, please let me know. And I can start folding that into the work of the Natalie Project, and we can get more information out. Again, you guys are going to get a resource sheet. On there is a group called Elevate Us, and all they do is relationships for people with disabilities. They kind of do a train the trainer program. There's other resources out there where people do specifically teach healthy relationships and sex education to our siblings as well. I know that the California State Council on Developmental Disabilities, they have a program as well. It hasn't really been widely marketed, but I know that there's a program as well there. So my goal is to get you tools and information around healthy relationships, around abuse. We also understand a lot of people with disabilities can also be a victim amongst other people, right? It could be a person with disabilities, another person with disabilities. And really that's why education is so important. And there just isn't enough of it around there. And and I think as siblings, we do need to demand that our siblings and us get that education. And now we're going to leave the breakout room. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys on the other side.